meeting. Do, do, do. Setting us up for the meeting. Interesting. One screen says that we are live, and one screen says that we are preparing to live stream. Let's see which one is correct.
Pardon me, I'm still getting over my crud from earlier in the week. So,
Oh, yeah.
It's been going around.
Yeah, it is an unfortunate truth. It is an unfortunate truth. All right, come on now. That's the wrong button. Good morning, everyone. For those of you who are new here, welcome. Fantastic! It is working.
We're live.
My name is Kate Mura with grouptarot.com, your quirky alternative for team building. And I am joined here with my dear friend and witch sister, Alicia Magic Boogie. Actually, let's see. Oh,
yeah. Alicia Magic Boogie. Yeah.
You're going to be on that side.
Okay.
Like, which way should I point my fingers? Because what I am seeing in the Zoom room and what the people are seeing is different. And on this week's, I do not go live that frequently. If you want me to go live that frequently, join my Patreon and help there be the resources for that kind of regular content.
Yeah, right. That's the dream, ain't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. When the Theater Oracle comes out, which is the background that you see behind me this time, who knows? Maybe the deck sales will fund it in some sort of delicious ongoing way. I go live monthly, normally on the 10th of the month at 11 a.m. Pacific time. However, this month, my accountability buddy reminded me and pointed out that today is a special holiday for her and a numeric holiday, which we did in fact pass 11/11 without making a wish. So let's just take a quick minute and think our wish out into the air anyway. So why, when you are done with your wish, did you want to go live on 11/11 at 11/11 in particular, friend?
Well, for those who don't know me, I am a Navy veteran of 18 years. So today is a special day for me and all of my fellow sisters and brothers out there that have served in arms, including my parents, which I hope are watching right now. They're also veterans. My brother is a veteran, multiple friends of mine, those I came up with, in my early years. And like, it's a special day. And oh, hi Kitty. Yeah. And and it's also angel numbers, 11/11 at 11/11. These are special occasions and they should be remembered with the proper reverence for it. So yeah, I just wanted to make this a special day for both myself and for you and for everyone else out there who just needs a little love today.
Yeah, I do. I am definitely in that needing a little bit of love camp today. I dressed up a little more for the occasion
You look
because
lovely, by the way.
oh, thank you. It was definitely one of those I don't want to get out of bed days. It was one of those days, and I did not feel very good, and I was feeling drained from the amount of like physical labor and emotional labor that I have been doing this last week, and I just did not want to do much of anything except
Crawl back into bed and smoke a lot of
crawl
weed.
back into
Yeah.
bed. Yeah. The green is not my personal medicine. No shade on it, but it does not work for my personal body.
Fair enough. Works for
My
me
body.
great though.
I know. And for those who it does, I love that for y'all so very much. Uh,
Mhm.
but I did it.
Tranquilize it.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Um, and I was so grateful that we had this live scheduled because it was what got me up out of bed. It was what was like, no, I am going to shower. I am going to do these things. And at least for me, as you and I have been going on our deck creation journeys together, that's one of the things I am so flippin' grateful for you for is having the like I don't want to disappoint you. I will disappoint myself. Not
All
a
day, every
problem.
day. Yeah.
Not a problem. I don't want to disappoint you.
It's having that
And
accountability buddy.
yeah, and so that is obviously one portion of our chat today. And for those of you who are tuning in live, if you have any questions for either of us or things that come up, feel free to toss them in the chat. You'll see me looking down at my phone because that's how I monitor the chat because I don't want to learn another streaming technology. Yeah, I know there are better interfaces than Zoom going through to YouTube. I don't want to learn them.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't even know how to what you're doing right now. So yeah, the show continue.
So tell us about your badass feminist deck.
Oh, I am so excited for this. So I am a feminist first and foremost, and I know that some people have a visceral reaction to that specific word for whatever reason. So let me just set the record straight. Me, as I see feminist and feminism, that is equality for all through a female gaze. That's it.
And to be super explicit, especially given the times that we are living in right now, do you see trans people and trans women as women?
I see them as however they want to identify themselves. It's not up for me to put a label on them. They label themselves. Just like I identify as a woman, they identify however they want to be identified. If they identify as a woman, I will tell you that, yes, I agree with you. But I am not in the position to judge anybody for how they want to live their life as long as they are a good person and they're not harming anybody. Who fucking cares, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yes, I do identify trans women as women because that's how they identify themselves.
Mm-hmm. Love it. So,
with that being said, I know that because of these conversations, feminism has been regaled to some kind of abstract thought when it comes to society, and it's not ingrained in a way that normalizes it. It's some kind of outside thing, and I want it to be more normalized. I want us to have discussions about really powerful female presenting people in the world, and I want it framed because of society, maybe they didn't get enough due when they were due it. So I wanted to create a deck that encompasses female presenting, whether they were born a woman or not, they were female presenting when they came up into the world. And a traditional tarot deck has 78 cards. And I originally was just going to do the major arcanas. And then the more I started researching these badass feminists throughout time and history, the more I realized I didn't have enough space. And so I was like, let's just fucking do a whole deck of 78. And then I came up with so many more amazing feminists. I had to start dwindling that down to just 78. And now that I have these amazing 78, I am excited to get the deck out there because each one will have a beautiful picture. And then there will be a way that I'm going to attach it to a website where you can click on the picture and get a whole bio of who this person was, why they're amazing, and references if you want to know more. So it's not just something for the esoteric, for the tarot deck. It's for anybody that wants to learn a little bit of history about people that may not have had their time in the sun. And trust me, there are plenty of feminists on this deck that people will know of. For example, one of the people that I have right now is Beyonce. So I don't know if you can pull up the cards that I sent you earlier. Yeah.
But I can.
Yeah.
I was wondering when you would want to segue into that. Here we go.
All right. So there's Beyonce right there, the Empress, which is a major arcana card. And this card kind of represents femininity and childbirth. So that's why we have her showing a pregnant belly in this photo and just looking as goddess-like as possible. And this is high femininity right here. And then you move on to somebody like the King of Wands, which is Frida Kahlo. And she was so amazing because she played with that femininity and the masculinity. She accentuated her unibrow and her mustache just because she knew that these were masculine qualities, but it didn't detract from who she was as a person, any of her art, or, any of her actual beauty. And she paired this by wearing a bunch of flowers in her hair, some of the most feminist things you can think of. And just the way that she plays with the soft and the hard, and like, she was an amazing person. But if we move on to the Five of Cups, that is going to be Marie Curie, who was also a feminist. She wanted people to just focus on her brain and not the fact that she was born a woman. And she won a Nobel Prize. She won 2 Nobel Prizes. The first one she had to split with her husband for no other reason than the fact that she was a woman. So like, these are the feminists that we're talking about. And then let's move up to the Nine of Pentacles. No, there we go. Nine of Pentacles. This is Lima Gobi. She's still alive and kicking ass to this day. She ended the Liberian War, basically. Her and a bunch of other badass women got sick and tired of warlords destroying Africa. And they're like, you know what? We need to get the women together and actually do something about this. And so, this is why she is a feminist, because she's like, look, we have better things to talk about. Let's stop this war and let's get people living again. Why are we destroying ourselves? So that's another example. And then the final one I have is the Ace of Swords. And that is going to be Georgia O'Keeffe, another painter. And she was one of the first non-binaries to actually make a stand in America. She started wearing men's clothing. She told other people, don't consider me a female artist, just consider me an artist. And each one of these women represents femininity and feminism in a different way, but each one of them espouses equality. And so that's just kind of like a little sampling of what the deck is going to look like, and how each one of these cards is going to be represented by each one of these female presenting feminists. So yeah, these are pretty close to where they're going to be. It's going to be a whole deck, all 78. And so I wanted to show one major arcana and then one from each of the following suits. So that's why there is the sampling that we have. So
Yeah,
Yes.
I love it. And
So some of these people are alive, some of these people are dead, some, and this is just a little taste of what is in store for the deck.
I know the answer to this question, but our watchers probably do not. Who is this your art? Is this someone else's art? How have
Ah.
these what
So
has been the third part?
I came up with the concept, and me and a couple of other badass women came up with the list. And then my girl Tori, she is an amazing artist. I met her last year, and when me and her were talking about the deck, I saw some of her artwork, and I was like, "Yo, bitch, let's do this!" And she's been very excited about it too. That's another accountability of mine. Me and her will check in with each other all the time and just say, where do we collectively want to go with this? But yeah, Tori Goodman, definitely should follow her on the social medias as well. She's very talented, and I am looking forward to working with her in the near future and getting this deck created, because yeah, as you can see, her artwork is stunning. And yeah, we're really excited about this. Obviously there's legal things that we need to do as far as, copyright. We don't want to step on anybody's toes, and we want to make sure that everybody is given the proper due that they deserve. So definitely have to get a lawyer involved. But other than that, like, we are ready to just kind of put this product out there, get people excited for it, and then start to, really build the deck out, which is going to take, fortunately, time and money, two things that we don't have a whole lot of right now. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that is life, right? I mean, it's the thing that we're always trying to get more of: time and money.
That is life. So one of the things that you and I have talked a lot about in our accountability sessions, as you bring the badass feminist deck to life and I bring the theater oracle deck to life with my union sister Dana West, the black and white photography you see
So
behind
talented.
me is
Yeah.
her work. And like hearing you talk about your other accountability buddy in your artist Tori makes me just a little, not a lot, but just a little sad that Dana and I don't need to have more of that, because the images are all done. Like, we did the photo shoot, we have weeded through everything. Now literally everything is in my court. I just
Mm.
have to continue writing the book, and I just have to make the launch plans. And I haven't done any further research on Kickstarter versus backer kit. And I know it's one of the things that we had talked about in previous account check-ins. Have you done any further research? Maybe anybody watching? Do y'all have anything that you want to add on the Go Backer Kit or Go Kickstarter conversation that's been happening?
Yeah, like I wish I knew more about that. I am working with a nonprofit, Dusty Visions. My friends, Anna Gale and Seth, they own that one. So I'm working with them to try to figure out which role we need to go through. Exactly. Do we do a Kickstarter? Is it a GoFundMe? Do we look for grants? Like, ooh, thunder and lightning.
Hmm. Do you ask Thor for
Do I ask Thor for the money? Yes. But yeah, no, these are definite conversations. Like, I wish I had somebody to tell me what to do, and the easiest path to victory. Like, I wish I had a motherfucker to tell me how to get from A to B with the least amount of resistance, but I don't have that human.
no? It's
Yep, and so we just got to muddle our way through, no matter what. And I guess that's the point of having the accountability buddy, is to
yeah,
make sure that we're not just sitting back and waiting for somebody to do it for us. We have to go out there and do it for ourselves.
yeah,
Otherwise, it's just not going to get done.
yeah. And the every now and again I do think about, because especially with the time that I have now put in the professional tarot world, where I have connections at Llewellyn and I have connections at US Games and Los Scarabeo and lightly at Red Feather, only through reviewing decks of theirs on this channel, which you can find if you search through a bit. Um, there's part of me that thinks about putting the Theater Oracle out there for one of their considerations. And there's part of me that, especially because of loving Dana West's photography so much, that at least right now, I feel like if I tried to go through a traditional publisher, that I don't have the clout to be able to say, no, don't change that image. No,
Right.
don't modify the no, don't modify that for X, Y, and Z reasons. When
Hmm.
it would come to like editing of the book, that I would be feel a lot more comfortable with.
Right.
But like the piece that I don't want an outside editor's fingers on are the images, because
Right.
part of the reason why the Theater Oracle is being put out into the world is because this part of theater life, this backstage part of the life, is known by so few people. And so any out any outside eye, while I do trust the accessibility piece that could be there, I don't want to dilute the truth of what it means and where it means to be a stagehand, and how oracular part of that
Right. Yeah,
can
I don't think
be.
anybody at the publishing house is going to know the difference between the two, and they probably shouldn't have an opinion on how it looks. That is
Yeah,
your vision. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
So at least for this first round, I definitely want to keep it indie, and
Yeah.
I've known that from the beginning. But
Mm.
especially for those watching, who maybe you are thinking about bringing your own deck into the world, there are a lot of things to think about.
Yeah, yeah. This is my first endeavor in it, and I know this is what this is your third deck you're working on now.
No, no, this is the first one that I am bringing to life
No kidding. I thought you worked
myself.
on other ones before, though.
I have what I've worked on before is I have worked on being a tarot consultant
Mm.
for shows. I have written a good deal. I have an idea for I have there is another deck idea out there that I cannot talk about publicly just
Ooh.
yet.
Ooh.
Well, you've heard it, because it has come up, before in, um I will give you a hint that might clue you into it. It has come up before quite a few months ago in very tiny divine entities sort
Okay.
of ways. um but no, I have not this is the Theater Oracle is my first time working on an actual deck. I have a lot of friends who are deck creators now that I know and who have written multiple books for decks and things like that. But this is my first foray into it too, unless you count the crowdsourced tarot that we witches here in the Pacific Northwest put together. But that was one photo shoot and sending in my card and my little blurb. It's a big difference
Yeah.
having 78 people do that than having two people do 78.
Yeah, yeah, because that's basically what it boils down to. It's me, Tori the artist, and then the handful of amazing badass women that I talk back and forth with about the deck. Like you, my sister Chanel, she's been like paramount into helping me whittle down that deck because sometimes my research is limited. And so she helps me do more research, like, hey, this person you should consider, or this person you should take off your list because of this, that, and the other, you
Yeah,
know. And
yeah,
so it's definitely been a very collaborative thing. And what I love the most about this deck is that it's just been all women working on it. It's fucking rad, and I love it. And like, I wanted to keep it that way too, you know?
yeah. I
Yeah.
totally hear that, and I've really loved the research process of it all because it's like I just know how many other names I tossed your way, and it makes me curious. How did you because you had people giving you feedback and tossing more feminist your way. How did you keep yourself from getting overwhelmed by all of the badasses that were being shared with you? Because
Spreadsheets. Yeah, I have quite a few spreadsheets and across all of the different mediums. I have a Word doc, I have an Excel doc, I have a PowerPoint presentation. Like I have so many different spreadsheets, an entire folder just full of potentials. And then each one of those potentials that makes it onto the list, they get their own folder. Then I do a deeper dive into that. And then if I find a problem, then I just have to get rid of them and put them in a different folder. So yeah, it's a lot of organization. It can be overwhelming at times, especially when I first started. But now that I've got a good kind of workflow, I'm like, oh, okay. I've already looked at this person, and that's why they're in this list. And I've already done my research on that, and blah, 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 blah. And then I start to just compile. It's a lot of research, but I think that my work in the military helped me out a lot with that because that's what I did. I compiled, processed, and then disseminated information when I was in the Navy.
huh,
So that's kind of the mindset that I have been in since I started working on this deck is I compile all this information, I process it and make it look all nice and pretty. And that way, then I can look at the big picture and be like, oh, okay, this is how I can move forward with it. So yeah, one
so
step
good,
at a time.
so good. I did not have. Oh no, that's a lie. I was about to say I did not have any spreadsheets, but that is completely inaccurate. I absolutely started off with a incredibly robust spreadsheet as well. And I part of how I knew that this deck, that the Theater Oracle wanted to come out into the world was because in a half hour of just brainstorming and mind dumping, I came up with well over 100 cards possibilities. And I was like, oh,
Yep. Sometimes a good data dump like that works too. Hell yes.
okay. Here, let's see what the next steps are then. And I apologize for any deaf folk who are watching. I totally forgot to turn the captions on early. I'm sorry. Um, oh,
How dare you?
sorry. Um,
Well, I mean, how do you start to whittle down your process then? Like, because you said you just
mm,
started like dumping and you're like, oh, okay, this could this and this and this and this. And like, so how has it been for you to try to whittle down that process to get it to where you want it to be?
yeah, my process has definitely been very expansive and contract expanding and contracting a lot because it became, even though there are absolutely ways to fit theater within a tarot framework, I also was just not jiving and clicking with putting putting those systems together. There was always a little, it always felt a little bit like I was shoehorning some things in there, or like, sure, that
Square
could
peg in a round
be
hole, that kind of thing. Yeah.
exactly, like, yeah, let's see if the proof of concept will help me give a good example. Um, yeah, so let's
There you go. Oh no, there sort of kind of.
that's always the challenge with
There you
things.
go. Nice, nice. Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
so there are one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. There are about 12 or 13 ropes here. So obviously, it doesn't necessarily fall into a 1 through 10 sort of place. The mid bridge itself, as a location in the theater, you can make the argument that something in the middle, so maybe one of the sixes, this is obvious, this is a card that has a lot of work and awareness to it. So I could make the argument that it could be a good six of wands, six of rods, and then potentially cut edit the card so that all of the working ropes, working line
Mm,
sets in the back were cut so that only six were there. But that edits Dana's photography in a way that doesn't feel resonant and didn't feel true to the intention of the deck,
right.
which
Exactly.
is to be in a divinatory system for theater professionals and a way for newbies to learn how to tap into their intuition and to get accurate information on what it means to be a working theater professional. And so I put the tarot idea on hold, although do still have some spreadsheets, um, and was like, okay, it is obviously clear that this wants to be an oracle deck,
Mhm.
and then rather than think about the numbers involved, I focused on the photo shoot and was like, Dana, what's your schedule like? Chatted with the friends at the theater. What's your schedule like? When's a good time for us to be there photographing for a personal project and not be in anyone's way, not have any shows in there, so we don't have to worry about copyright and IP, like just us working.
Yeah.
Um, and
Yeah.
so we scheduled the photo shoot for my birthday last year. So we're almost at 1 year.
I know. Happy early birthday, by the way.
Yeah. Um, and Dana and I took over 1,000 photographs.
I believe it.
And part of that, and maybe your artist works similarly, but part of that was because Dana, as a photographer, would much rather do all of the slight changes at the time. So we would have like I have series of one particular shot, like the one behind me, the blank stage.
Yeah.
Um, I have 7 different versions of
Oh, I
this
can imagine. Yeah.
because the aperture, the exposure levels are all different,
That's
and
the difference between photography and then like digital art. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
because
Yeah.
Tori, she'll send me kind of like a rough draft, be like, hey, this is the direction I'm going. I'm like, okay, great. Can we make it look more like this? Can we play around with these colors? Can you make this bigger or this smaller? And then we just kind of shape it like that. But like, I could totally see how it just needs to be done right then and there on scene when it comes to photography and
Yeah,
maybe
well,
a little sweetening on the back end. But I mean, that should be pretty minimal. Yeah.
and not every photographer works that way. Like some love to plug their images into Photoshop and
Oh,
play
yeah.
with all of that in post. Dana is not like that at all.
Yeah.
She wants to get the image. And so that's what we did. Um and so from there, it was in her court first, and she whittled it down to her favorite images, and so that got us down to somewhere between 3 and 500. Hey, that's more than half. Like,
Exactly.
she she edited out more than half because it is not I don't remember what the exact number was, but it was over 1,000.
Yeah.
Um, and the first idea that I had, because stagehands, depending on the show, a lot of times there's downtime between cues, between shows, and in the crew room. Oh, yeah, I could actually show y'all the crew room because I think that's one of the other possible backgrounds. Yeah. Um, a crew room anyway.
Ooh, yeah.
And so there's time to hang out here and play. And one of the things that sometimes happens is people play cards. And so I was like, maybe I whittle it down to 52 so that it could be a playing card
Yeah, yeah.
size. And when I started whittling down to my favorites and the ones that spoke the most to me on because the the one of the pieces that is one of the things that both of our work has in common is that it's about access. Your deck is wanting to bring accessibility to a bunch of badass feminists that not everybody may know of or knows a little bit about, but not a lot about. Like, I knew about Marie Curie. I did not know that she had to share the fucking prize with her husband, who did nothing.
Well, help, but
Okay,
it was her fucking prize.
okay, he helped, but
Yeah.
thank you for
Yeah.
correcting me. Um,
But no, it was definitely her prize to be
yeah.
won, but she had to share it.
And so, and and the theater oracle is an accessibility to the backstage, the realities of one backstage life. Not every crew room looks like this one. I've been to a
A
lot of,
lot of them look pretty damn similar.
and a lot of them look pretty damn similar. Exactly. And so I always have part of my, when I was reading through, I had part of my brain on making sure that all of the different areas in a professional theater and as many of the different jobs and locations that go into professional theater are shown, as well as making sure that every card had something that was also really practical for people that don't know anything about theater.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
when this card when crew room comes up for someone, maybe it's about just making sure that you always have a place ready for people to come and sit and hang out regardless of whether or not it's used. The mic, like making sure that everything is in order for when it's needed, that there's coffee pots and microwaves and fridge and places to wash your hands, and that the soap dispensers are filled, and that the tables have been wiped down, and that there are places for people to put their stuff, like all of the little practical things that we can do to make a space ready
Mhm.
regardless of what jobs we have in the real world. And so where the deck is now in terms of numbers um is 111,
Okay.
and that is 91 cards in the main deck with a 20 card expansion pack. And how those numbers have finally settled is you have your sister and your artist and me as accountability buddy, and any of the other accountability buddies you have. And I created a theater oracle crew cohort, and in there are a handful of incredibly gloriously diverse, from in all of the ways, from age to experience to religions to ethnicities, like all of them, genders, sexualities,
I met a handful of them already. Yes. I
because you in it too.
sure am.
um and who all share a love of theater and share a love of cartomancy, and have asked for their input very intentionally, like which cards which cards work for you, which cards don't work for you. And they have argued cards back into the deck, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I, you're right. There you go. And they have argued cards out of the deck of like, oh, yeah, but that is like so similar to this. Yep, no, no, we'll let that go.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Because our vision is our vision. But if we can't explain our vision to others and others can't see it, then yeah, there's time to work on that, because isn't that the point of putting this out there, is to get people to look at it and talk about it
Mhm.
and have it be a visceral experience in their lives. Yeah, that's the whole
Yeah,
point of doing this. We want to put a good product out there in the world that people enjoy.
yeah, exactly. That they learn something about the world from, and that they learn something about themselves from.
Exactly. And isn't that the whole point of tarot and oracle and all of that anyway? Yes.
Exactly. Exactly. So, as our conversations do, this time has flown. So, in our last minutes together, how do people find you and stay up to date and do any pre-sales or Kickstarter supports whenever, however you choose to get that out into the world goes
Well,
live?
so the plan was today I was going to launch my website, aliciabruggeman.com, and that had my little store on there where you can buy like my candles and my spell bags and my jewelry. And there was also going to be a tab that had the feminist icon tarot deck on there. It'll have more information. And I did a soft launch this weekend and I immediately broke it. So, and I already told my IT person, I was like, I'm throwing you underneath the bus. And they said they were fine with that. So yeah, getting the website up and running is going to happen between today and the end of the week. And once that is done, I will be posting on my social media. I have a TikTok, which is at Alicia Magic Boogie. And then I also have my business Instagram, which is Boogie's Magic Shop. So I will be posting information on there. I also have a personal Instagram page, but I don't really put a lot of my business stuff on there because it's my personal stuff. And I try to keep the two worlds separate. So yeah. But yeah, as far as that is concerned, my TikTok, which is, like I said, Alicia Magic Boogie, or my Instagram, which is Boogie's Magic Shop. And I will be posting more information in there. And I think you're going to have the links for that as well.
Yep.
And
Oh,
then also, if you want to follow Tori, my artist, we'll post her information as well, her Instagram page. Yes.
yeah, and all of that will go into the description box at the end of this.
Yep.
So,
Update coming. So stay tuned. Yes.
yes, yes, by the end of the week.
End of week. End of week. Come
End of
on,
week.
IT pros. Look us up.
Exactly. Let it work. Let it work. Let it work. So thank you everybody for watching. Next month for December of 2024, the time is going to shift a little bit on the 10th. So stay tuned to hear, click the like and subscribe and turn notifications on to know when I go live. I also do some pop-ups every now and again, especially if people send me decks. I'll do pop-up unboxings and things like that. Or to stay most in the loop, join Group Tarot's mailing list or Patreon.
I
And,
know I did.
and we will see you back next month for another conversation with a kick-ass creator in the divinatory arts world.
Thanks for having me, Kate. We will talk
Oh,
soon. Yes,
you're
this is
so
the best.
welcome. You're so welcome. You're one of my favorite people. And
I like
you're
being favorite
creating
people.
a deck. So obviously you have to be
And
on.
happy Veterans Day, everyone.
Indeed. Have a beautiful day.
Bye.